The Liberty men and women are heating up on the hardwood as conference play continues, and we'll show you the elite numbers of Darius McGhee.
Plus, Hugh Freeze's favorite recruiting story will have you rolling, and the remarkable testimony of Liberty tennis player Christiaan Worst. Flame Central starts now.
In the dead of winter, we're here to provide a little warmth. So gather around. Welcome into Flame Central. She's Emily Austin. I'm Matt Warner.
Yeah, Matt, speaking of warmth, Liberty basketball has been off to a hot start in ASUN conference play, and that would continue on Tuesday night against North Florida.
Yeah, in 8 previous meetings between the Ospreys and the Flames, the home team had won every game. Then you throw in the fact that Liberty came in with a 42-game home win streak, and you can kind of see this one coming. First half of this game, it was all about the defense. Liberty came in with a top 25 scoring defense, and they made life miserable for North Florida. The Ospreys would end up scoring just 22 first-half points while shooting 22% from the field. Meanwhile, a spurt at the end of the half, thanks in part to that impressive Darius McGhee lay-in, would put the Flames up 33-22 at the break. Second half, and it was Shiloh Robinson going to work. The junior had a career night, scoring 21 points on 5 of 7 shooting, and he also knocked down an incredible 10 of 11 from the free throw line. Liberty would build a lead as big as 21 before cruising to a 15-point win, 71-56 the final. With the victory, Liberty improves to 11-6 on the year, and more importantly, 2-0 in ASUN play. After the game, head coach Richie McKay talked about the emergence of Shiloh Robinson on the offensive end of the court.
I think he's having an all-conference type year. He's really grown as a player and as a person. I think his confidence is really high, and his value to our team is immense. So, not surprised by it. He's been practicing that way. He puts the time in. He takes care of his body and has a selflessness that warrants a big opportunity.
Okay, I get it, Coach McKay. Shiloh Robinson is having a phenomenal season so far. I don't want to take anything away from that. But have you seen what Darius McGhee has been up to? This guy has been making some serious noise with his numbers. Don't believe me? Here's proof. Meet my friend Darius McGhee, also known as the King of the Three, Darius McThree, Downtown D McGee, D3. Okay, maybe I made up some of those nicknames, but hear me out. Darius was named the ASUN Player of the Year last season, and he's so good, the conference went ahead and picked him to do it again this year. He's all of 5'9", but boy, can he make it rain. He currently sits first in the nation in three-point attempts, third in three-pointers made, and second in total points. This guy has made more threes than 16 schools in the country. He officially became the king of threes when he broke Liberty's program record.
Is this it? Yes, sir!
For the most three-pointers made earlier this season.
A new three-point king for the Liberty Flames.
Today, he sits with 289 career triples. And McGee's offense has become more and more electric during his time as a Flame. Here's a look at his scoring averages in each of his 4 seasons at LU. This season's points per game average is good for 7th in the nation. And it keeps getting better with time. In his first 99 games, Darius scored at least 20 points or more, just 11 times. And they were all last season. This season, he's already matched that number, and we're only 17 games in. When it comes to the Liberty's all-time scoring list, just this season, Darius has jumped 14 spots in the record books. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, he can do more than just shoot the three. Do not let this guy get to the rim.
The run out. Yes, sir!
Defenses all over the country have known all about Darius McGhee, and now you do too. Darius McGhee, a dangerous scoring machine, and he's not slowing down anytime soon. Darius McGhee is such a cool guy to watch. Sometimes when he's bringing up the ball, I don't know if he's just going to pull up for a three at half court, but you talk to some of these ASUN coaches around the conference, and he's like, what makes him so dangerous is one night he went to score, Another night, he can just pass the ball.
Yeah, that's the most impressive thing this year. A lot more is on his shoulders. He's handling the ball a lot more, and he's become a creator as well. We always knew he could score the basketball, but now he's setting up teammates, and it makes him that much more dangerous.
Can't wait to see what he does the rest of the season. Well, staying on the hardwood, the Lady Flames come into their matchup against North Florida with an impressive 14-1 record, including an 11-game winning streak, the program's longest in 7 years. But a common attitude with coaches all across the country is
streaks don't matter.
Records don't matter.
Right.
This is conference play, baby. And that proved to be true at the start of this one. LU already down 11 points in just the first 3 minutes of play. That's the largest deficit of the season for the Lady Flames. North Florida getting it hot from downtown, but Dee Brown would wake up the Lady Flames, driving it in the basket and laying it in. She had a career night with 15 points and 12 boards to the second. Tight ball game. But Nana Lindstrom's hot hand from behind the arc gets Liberty within 1. She finished with 11. The Lady Flames had some lockdown defense in the third quarter, outscoring UNF 17-4. Liberty will close out this one to remain perfect in conference play at 3-0. But a huge game up next as the Lady Flames seek their first victory against FGCU on the road.
Well, with a successful Liberty football season in the rearview mirror, we decided it would be a great time to have Flames head coach Hugh Freeze on the Flames Central podcast. We discussed the season that was, Malik Willis in the NFL, and he also shared one of the more entertaining recruiting stories we've heard in a while.
Recruiting's so different these days, obviously, with the transfer portal. Before we get into that, do you have an all-time favorite, ridiculous, hilarious recruiting story?
Probably the most hilarious is me riding a horse through downtown Houston, Mississippi, with a dad who's yelling at the top of his lungs. I think he was feeling pretty good. And, and you're in the state of Mississippi, and he's with the head coach of the premier university, and we're in downtown Houston, Mississippi, and he is letting everyone know.
Wow,
that's impressive.
Wow,
that was Chris Jones, and Chris Jones led the Chiefs, and that's him.
To hear the entire interview with Hugh Freeze, including what he changed prior to Liberty's bowl win that he thinks made a big difference, check out the Flame Central podcast. A new pod, that's what the kids call it, is released every Monday. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, all the usual places. Download the Flame Central podcast today. Well, sticking with football, we need to show some love to former Liberty defensive lineman Jesse Lemonnier. He just finished up his first season with the Detroit Lions, and the former undrafted free agent put together a strong finish to the year, including a sack of Aaron Rodgers in Week 18. Lemonnier finished the year with 15 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Oh, by the way, those are the only NFL sacks ever recorded by a former Liberty Flame. A great season for Lemonnier, and it appears a solid future in Detroit.
Well, Matt, speaking of former Flames, what's a Flame Central show without talking about arguably the best women collegiate athlete in the country? Yes, I'm talking about Liberty field hockey superstar Jill Bolton. For the second straight season, Bolton was voted as the Virginia Sports Information Director's Player of the Year and also named to the All-State First Team list. The honors come after Bolton was named with the 2022 Honda Sport Award, which head coach Nikki Parsley-Blocker describes as the Heisman Trophy in women athletics. She was also honored as the National Player of the Year back in December. Here's what Bolton had to say on what the awards mean to her and this program.
To have Liberty recognized just for our efforts, our hard work, to have this accolade in this such a young program is great. I'm so excited to put Liberty on the map even more. It's been a crazy last few weeks, to say the least. I just feel like with winning National Player of the Year, I was so surprised. And then when Coach Nikki called me telling me that I had won the Honda Award, that left me speechless. I was so surprised. I would have never guessed this would have happened my senior year to finish out my career.
All right, coming up, we hit the courts as this men's tennis player shares his touching story and how God pursued him and led him to Liberty.
Plus, Rhett McGibbon joins us for an update on hockey and then heats things up with warm, hot, and fuego. Stick around.
Welcome to the School of Aeronautics at Liberty University. We're excited about our growing UAS program and what we have to offer. As the industry expands and the need for more pilots increases, a degree from Liberty University could be the beginning of your exciting career as a UAS pilot. Career opportunities cover a wide range of areas, from civilian industry to military contracting to UAV maintenance. You're sure to find an area that interests you. With many companies embracing the technology such as retail giant Amazon, the industry is secure and open to many new workers. If a more exhilarating and fast-paced environment is right for you, there are positions as a military contractor where you will perform many reconnaissance and support missions, aiding our troops and potentially saving the lives of those serving our country. We're proud to offer training and certification through Textron Systems, one of the industry's leading companies in small to medium-sized UAVs with its Aerosonde aircraft. Earning a degree from our program also means you'll get to experience college on our beautiful 7,000-acre campus. We're nearing completion of a $1 billion renovation, giving our students the very best campus experience possible. So come join us at Liberty University Aviation and begin your exciting career in the UAS industry.
Our principals love Liberty graduates. They absolutely love them. They are sincere, honest, hardworking, but they also know their curriculum, they know their classroom management, and they are well prepared.
So the students from Liberty come in with good experience. They've done practicums, they've had their student teaching, and they come in, they understand how to write their lesson plans, they understand how to manage their classroom, and they understand how to work with others.
The Liberty Education Department produces really good teachers. They know their craft, and they are prepared to prepare the next generation, not only in this country, but around the world.
Liberty is our favorite school, and we have found that Liberty does a real good job of exposing the students to international opportunities and missions through LU Serve and LU Send. So the Liberty student brings a lot to the table. They have a lot of experience. The vetting for Liberty students is very easy and very quick, because if I get a few professors here at the school that sign off on them, I know they're good to go.
Liberty students in general, they're coming to the table as professionals, of course, but they're also coming with a level of commitment that I rarely see anywhere else.
The students from Liberty come in with some experiences other than just being in the classroom here at Liberty. They've been in the classrooms all around the city and the surrounding counties.
Our principals, when they know it's going to be a Liberty student, they say yes. They want them.
All of the graduates of Liberty we have hired have been wonderful.
Naturally, a school like Liberty, it's just easy fishing.
Welcome back to Flame Central. The spring campaign for men's and women's tennis is almost here, but before that starts, what fun are sports without those early predictions before the teams even toss up that first serve? Let's take a look at those preseason polls for the ASUN coming off their best season in program history. The Flames are projected to repeat as ASUN champions. Liberty received 7 first-place votes, good for 79 total points, and taking that top spot from ASUN foe North Florida. On the women's side, the Lady Flames were selected 3rd in the preseason polls with 1 first-place vote, while North Florida and FGCU take those top 2 projected spots. Staying on the courts, one of the top returning players on the men's side is Christiaan Worst. The South African transferred to Liberty from Vanderbilt University, and while his tennis journey has had quite the ups and downs, his spiritual journey has been no different. Christiaan would soon learn where that journey would take him after realizing God was pursuing him all along.
Tennis was the thing that brought me to God. God showed me, that was the very first thing. He showed me, listen, this is an idol. I grew up in South Africa, Pretoria, South Africa. I grew up playing all the sports, played cricket, rugby, tennis, athletics, everything.
And it would be tennis that would serve up a scholarship to Vanderbilt University in the States, an opportunity nearly 9,000 miles from home.
That was a big thing for me, to be far away from home, having to deal with stuff on my own, think for myself, kinda not be dependent on my parents. Tennis at Vanderbilt, the pressures of it, kind of everything is new. There's different stresses, there's language barriers I had to kind of cross, just coming at me all at once.
And off the court, his faith would be tested.
for me, it was a tough time, and with that, having people around me challenging my faith, like in a negative way, like kind of questioning, like, what do you really believe this? I mean, come on, it's a fantasy. And so I started to doubt, like, is this real? Have I been told a lie my entire life?
These doubts left Christiaan searching for answers.
I grew up in a Christian home. My dad used to always say, you know, there's a lot of people that go to church, but they don't have a real relationship with Jesus. And I was always religious. I went to church, and I never truly understood the gospel. I had no idea. There was no fruit. There was no real fruit. And I lived for myself, and I couldn't see that. Like the Word of God says, we're blinded, and until you're born again, you can't see the kingdom or enter the kingdom of God.
Christiaan felt isolated, and tennis wasn't filling the void within him.
I remember, like, I had to walk 5 minutes back to my dorm from the tennis courts every day, or after we ate dinner, and I was listening to songs, and I would have tears in my eyes almost every day when I went back, just with everything going on. Waking up in the mornings feeling I'm not gonna make it through the day, and the tennis going up and down, and I don't know, you know, my identity was in the tennis.
But it was a trip back home to South Africa that would help reveal his true purpose.
I remember the first summer I went back, I really read a lot of books, and I've never read a book in my life, and I just read about 5 books. Mere Christianity was one of them, just a lot of basic gospel books, and so that was kind of the process of me, of God pursuing me. For the first time in my life, I understood the love of Jesus. I've always heard of Jesus loves you, and he's got a plan for you, and he's with you in tough times, but you can't really understand his love if you don't understand what it truly means, and that is we're separated from God, and he's come so that we can be in right relationship with him again.
The first 20 minutes or so will be some hitting.
Christiaan is now a Liberty Flame. After circumstances led him to seek a transfer from Vanderbilt, LU would turn out to be a great fit. Not only is Christiaan developing on the court, but he's also growing in his faith.
One thing I realized at Liberty, you can't walk the Christian life alone. If you're going to try and do it alone, the devil is roaring and seeking someone to devour, and you need community, and having that with the coaches and the team.
He focuses so much on his journey with God that it presents itself to everyone, and it honestly feels just light. It's so comfortable to be around because he always cares about other people.
He's definitely a character, like one of a kind, 100%. He makes us laugh all the time. I just found him hilarious straight away, and he really fits in like perfectly.
Christiaan is grateful for his new Liberty family, but also for the trials that have brought him this far.
That's the ultimate goal, is to become more like Jesus, and so now you can see sufferings. He's shaping you, he's refining you. It's easy to read that in your room, count it all joy when you face trials, but when you're actually out there facing them, that's when Jesus needs to become a reality for you.
And Christiaan's hope is that his testimony will inspire others to look to the one true Savior.
If people can see, like, wow, this guy's just not attached, but he's loving what he's doing, he's grateful for his God, and I'm so far from that. I'm really far from that, but I got a group of people around me that can push me in pursuing that.
Thanks to Christiaan for opening up, sharing his story, and to Jonah Jabor for producing that piece. All right, Rhett McGibbon joins us now. Now, some may not know that Rhett is the voice of Liberty hockey. And Rhett, there are some high expectations for the Flames as they get set to start the second half of their schedule.
Yeah, high expectations are right. This is a team a lot of people thought would have to retool after so many seniors graduated last semester. But no, not the case. Kirk Handy recruited extremely well, and the right back being a contender in the ACHA.
Liberty hockey cruised to a 15-4 record in the first semester with an overall ranking of 5th in the nation. A surprising feat, considering the Flames had 11 new faces on the roster. This young team found instant chemistry, and Kirk Handy points to one reason for that.
That's because we've got such a great senior leadership group in here that put that as their top priority. Team chemistry, and we knew the guys we were bringing in were going to be great for our team culture.
Yeah, we wanted to make it a real point of emphasis to reach out to these guys and really connect with them on a personal level. that when we all got together as a team that it would really, gel together and work well. And the way we were able to come together was just a lot of fun.
And that instant chemistry would allow the Flames to find the strength of their game early.
It's speed for us. We're all over the ice. We want to be in our opponent's faces all night. And we know we're really talented, so if we can have the puck as much as possible, we know we have the best chance of winning.
We're a really fast team. The way we can transition, off the rush and create offense that way. And also we're a really big team too, so we can use our physical side to, just play that game and kind of create offense that way.
The secret weapon for LU, however, has been having fans back in the stands.
We were deprived last year, and having fans here this year has been the most amazing thing. We don't take it for granted, and everybody shows up. You can feel the energy on the ice, and it absolutely impacts how we play. It's been a lot of fun.
The energy in the building's been unbelievable. Second half of the year, with some great opponents coming to town, I'd imagine the building will be full for the rest of the year.
As they look to the second semester, the Flames do have some areas to improve upon to be a true national contender.
There's things that we can tweak, such as I think that we can be a little more consistently dangerous around the net. And that's when we have chances to score, we need to bear down on it. We aren't going to blow teams out of the water at 9-2 as we go down the stretch here. They're going to be tight games, and we got to bear down the scoring chance that we have.
I think we just need, 100% commitment from everybody on the team, and we just need everybody to buy into the systems and, just commit to coming to the rink every day and, for one, have fun, but also just work hard. And, there's nothing that we can't do with this team.
Really looking forward to the second half of this journey into the national tournament. I really feel like, this group has great potential and a great opportunity to do some real special things.
Should be an exciting second half to the season. All right, the people demand more Rhett McGibbon. We're giving the people what they want. Rhett sticks around now for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Top player moment from the past week in Liberty Athletics. Rhett, is there a theme this week?
Yeah, I don't really have a theme that's going to go with every Warm, Hot, and in Fuego, but I did notice it was National Rubber Ducky Day this past week, and I just thought
one always sneaks
that's
up
kind of fun. It's time to celebrate, Matt.
Right.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
Right. Okay. All right, let's start with Warm.
Yeah, this is a passing play for men's basketball, and I just kind of want to walk through this with everybody. When you see this play early on in a game, Liberty's going to be off to a good start. First off, McGhee penetrates, then the pump fake. Shiloh kicks it over. You got to respect Van Zandt because he can put you on a poster, and then it's like the perfect shot. When you see Liberty playing this way, and in that game, McGhee was driving a lot more than usual. When he drives, I feel like he takes his game to another level, and also the defense has to respect the fact that he can go one step on you, and he can also put you on a poster, you know what I mean? And then Shiloh Robinson, we're going to talk more about him in just a few minutes. That's a little bit of a tease, but he's been playing excellent. Van Zandt's been so much fun. And then McDowell, he's been a great shooter for the Flames this year, and if you give him an open look like that, more times than not, he's going to burn you.
One of the better shooters in the country, actually, with those open looks from beyond the arc. All right, from Warm, we go to Hot. Who's your choice here?
All right, Dee Brown. Well, she had just a phenomenal game this past week, and the Junkyard Dog. Are we just going to name her that?
Let's do it.
I think so. She gets the steal. Flames were down bad at that point in the game. She takes it coast to coast, and one aspect of her game that she got back to, in JUCO ball, this is where she made her money. She was driving it to the net, using that frame of hers to create space.
I knocked that girl right in the chops.
But she was finishing around the net in this game, which made her so impactful. This is Dee Brown to a T. Now, I know she gets stuffed a couple times, but she does not give up and finally gets it in. That kind of tenacity is what LU needed in that game. They were able to battle back from a significant deficit and eventually win it by double digits.
She's one of the toughest players in this conference, isn't she?
She is.
Night in, night out.
Yeah, for sure.
So much fun to watch. All right, finally, in Fuego, the top honor this week goes to who?
All right, it's Shiloh Robinson. This guy's game has gone to another level, and we've watched him the past couple seasons. You're like, this guy has it. When will it click? Well, I think it is clicking this season. First off, defensively, he shut Hendrickson down.
He did.
Like, he only shot 25%. Then I love this play. Okay, he's 6'7", playing like he's 6'10".
Yeah.
Banging bodies down in the post and in the paint, driving in there. Beautiful shot. He can also hit the three for you. He is a tough guy to defend on this LU team. And when you think, okay, Darius McGhee, maybe he's having an off night, not shooting it as well as normal. Now you have Shiloh Robinson who can step in and be that secondary offensive threat that they have to respect, because on that play I showed you earlier, there's two defenders coming out to Shiloh because they know he can hit it from that distance.
Yeah, he is playing, not thinking. We've seen him come into his own this season, certainly, and that's been a big help for the Flames.
Sure.
Rhett, great job as always. All right, still to come, we step into the Wayback Machine for a great Liberty Athletics moment from the past. That and more when Flame Central returns.
God's calling for your life can be specific. And at Liberty, we're committed to equipping you to pursue that calling. Choose from more than 300 residential programs of study, or design your own major through interdisciplinary studies, and be confident your major is the perfect fit. No matter how specific your calling, you'll find a program of study to match at Liberty University, and become your best as a champion for Christ.
Your future career will ask you to analyze, assess, implement, react, make smart decisions in a split second. With the Liberty University degree, you'll be ready because your first day on the equipment comes long before your first day on the job. Get ready to take on tomorrow, today.
Welcome back to the show. All year long, we've been celebrating Liberty University's 50th anniversary with some of the top Flames athletics moments from the past 50 years.
Yeah, and this week belongs to women's basketball. It's a program that's won a lot of titles over the years, but maybe none as exciting as this one.
March 16th, 2008, the Big South Conference Women's Basketball Final. Liberty against Radford, who the previous year had broken the Lady Flames' string of 10 straight conference championships. An 18-foot jump shot would give the Highlanders a late one-point lead. Then, with less than 5 seconds left, Allison Fastnacht would inbound to Megan Frazee in the paint. Her highly contested shot would bounce around the rim and drop in with 0.3 seconds left. Frazee's late-game heroics would avenge the previous year's loss and send the Lady Flames to their 11th NCAA appearance in 12 seasons.
Really cool moment. Well, if you're not already snowed in, you probably will be. If you have nothing to do, I have a great idea for you. Download the Flame Central podcast. The content in this podcast, you need to catch up on all the interviews. You're not going to find anything like it anywhere.
I was on the podcast. I might listen to it again. Just not going to have much else to do. All right, hey, that about does it for us. As always, libertyflamecentral.com for any stories you may have missed. She's Emily. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here next week.